Hey y'all, what's up? You know I gotta do that. Don't be laughing at me. Okay, that's my intro. So last video of the coach-client series, and I just put up a little ask me whatever
Thing.
bubble on
Poll.
Yeah, that,
Wait, no.
I don't know.
Poll?
Some shit on story, and whatever that's called. And people ask questions, and I just gonna pick our top few favorite ones because these are really good to kind of go through. And I love Q&A because I feel like it actually gets like what people want to hear.
Yeah, I like Q&As.
Yeah, I just love Q&A stuff. So this is kind of it's a two-part thing, but it goes together. Would you ever prescribe less than 100 grams of carbs for lifestyle clients looking to lose weight, or would you reverse diet them at this point? So this is saying that like 100 grams of carbs is like this magical number. And absolutely it depends on the context, but I would say absolutely I would. Most lifestyle clients, especially if we're talking about dieting, or probably need to lose weight. And if you're looking to lose weight, like you're not gonna like damage yourself if you go less than 100 carbs.
There's no such thing as like starvation mode or something like that.
There's definitely not anything called starvation mode.
I think it's just individual. Like it also depends on like how long they've been dieting. So
yeah, should you reverse them is less of a product of how low their calories are, and is more a product of how long have they been dieting, are they being adherent, how are they training, how are they sleeping, how are they, I mean, like there's so many factors.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a point where it's like, okay, maybe we shouldn't go lower than this. And I kind of get where they're going with it, like, because of course competitive dieting is more extreme than lifestyle dieting. But if you're really like someone needs to get the weight off, it shouldn't be like, how little can we do? It should be, we need to get the weight off. Like, maybe they're not going to look like a physique competitor, but we're going to have to get pretty aggressive, most likely.
Yeah.
Thoughts on creatine? This is a short one, but yes.
Well, yeah.
Absolutely.
One of the most studied supplements
Literally,
in the industry.
I feel like every time somebody says the word creatine, a person inside is like, this is the most studied
supplement.
But it literally is the most studied sports supplement.
Just go look up any article on Google Scholar and you'll see.
Not Google, Google Scholar.
Google Scholar, yes.
Creatine monohydrate is the way to go. 5 grams a day. There's so many benefits.
You can do like a loading method, like 3 to 5 grams like 4 times a day for like a week, and then do 3 to 5 grams every day, or just do straight 3 to 5 grams.
Basically you have to saturate the muscle cell, and once it's saturated you don't need any extra. So if you want to load, you can, and you will get there faster, but it's not necessary.
At the end of the day, you end up in the same place.
Get there. There's also a lot of cognitive benefits too. They've done some really cool research on that as well. So not just performance, but also cognitive function too. So yes, and it's super cheap.
Yes.
List versus HIIT for muscle retention during prep. I get asked this all the time, and again, it depends.
Yeah.
But
I wish we had like a definite answer, but really a lot of it is
there's no definite answer. There's no. I think if people are watching my videos, they kind of understand that by now. I never give a definite answer because you can't. We prioritize steady state over HIIT. Now, I do prescribe some clients HIIT cardio when they're dieting.
Yeah. You just have to look at the pros and cons of each. HIIT is going to be harder on your system. It's going to be, you got to recover more. List is easier, but it takes longer. So, both of them have pros and cons.
The biggest problem with HIIT is, one, you need, ideally, in order to actually perform well, you need glycogen.
Yes.
If you are dieting for a contest, you are most likely low carb, low calorie, you don't have a ton of glycogen on tap. There's also a higher risk of incidence for injury. Yeah. So that's going to be a huge issue when you're dieting as well. Or just all the time, but just when you're dieting, when there's lower calories.
Especially when
just lower energy. So. There's just a lot of negatives, but some people really enjoy it. And I do think it also depends on how people are training. Some people who train less enjoy doing more HIIT, but then some people who are training their ass off don't need to do HIIT. And so it really doesn't... I look at it more of the, are we getting the deficit that we need or not?
A lot of it is just like what you're training for and where you're at.
Yeah, your context. Food timing, and this was a bicep emoji, so I'm assuming food timing for gains. Minimum amount of protein in what time frame, i.e. 10 grams per 4 hours. So absolutely you're going to need way more than 10 grams of protein to do anything.
Yeah, I would say like at least like 20 to 30 grams per meal.
Yeah.
Spread throughout the day.
So. Yes, you need it. I'm gonna get a little sciencey here, but you have to hit a threshold for muscle protein synthesis. So you have to think about it. If you come here and like this is the peak, you're not maxing out where you need to be. Likewise, once you've hit that peak, you also need to come back down in order to peak again.
Yeah.
So if you're getting not enough, you're not going to hit the peak. And if you're getting just enough, but then too frequently, you're also never going to come down, and it's not going to have that refractory period, which is absolutely necessary. So ideally, I would say that 3 to 6 meals a day is okay, but 4 to 5 is a better recommendation. 4 to 5 protein feedings.
Yeah.
I've been doing off season 3 meals and a protein shake. During prep, I usually do 4 meals and a protein shake, so 4 to 5. And I would say, again, if you're looking at animal sources, which is a complete protein, you're going to aim for, no less than 20.
Less than 20, yeah.
I would say 20 to 30. 30 is kind of a good range for most people to be safe. And if you're doing a plant source, you're going to need more of that. Jinx!
You want me to diet nothing, dude?
I don't know what that is, but that's fine. I'm going to laugh. Do you ever say you don't want to work with clients anymore? Yes.
Yeah.
This happens very rarely. Very rarely.
And, it sucks, but some relationships just don't work out. Some clients and coaches don't mesh very well. So it's bound to happen at least once.
Yep.
But yes, it does happen.
It's uncomfortable. It's not fun. It sucks feeling like you didn't do a good job and that they weren't satisfied, but sometimes it just doesn't work. And this has happened very, very minimally in my career. Really, it's only ever been twice in like almost 6 years that it's been things are not ending badly. Not badly, but just kind of like
just like me.
Cut off. And then a few times, like once or twice, where it's more of like a health thing, or somebody like I will definitely end something if I feel like psychologically somebody is not in a good position. That's really key. Like, you need to know your role as a coach. If somebody is displaying not just a little bit of disordered eating, but like eating disorders, like that's crucial.
That's not your
and then likewise, if they're very, very severely sick with some kind of issue that you can't solve, or they need more help with from a specialist, don't feel like you have to fix that if you're not qualified. So, and like Jill said, some people just don't mesh, and that's okay. But a lot of times that's where it's important to kind of express. That's why I'm very
big on, like, that's where communication is
and
key.
even just from the very beginning, like some people, hey, sign up for coaching. No. You got to fill out an intake form. We got to go back and forth.
We got to get on a phone call. We have to talk.
Yes.
See if we're on the same page, and see if like what we're offering is even what you want.
Exactly. So. That eliminates a lot of those issues, and I think that's why I don't have a lot of this that I've dealt with over the years, because I've been very cognizant of that. But you have to have systems up front in order to see, okay, are you guys a good fit? And are you even going to be able to offer and help this person? Because don't just take somebody's money because you want their money. That's not a good thing.
Don't do that.
Karma. How to find the best coach for me. Refer to part 1 of the series. That was a really good video, so we're just gonna hair flip. Hair flip on that.
A little biased. But.
Another question, which is not, I just want to address this really quickly. Are you accepting new bikini prep clients? This is not something that I talk about on social media. I do not do any of my coaching via messages, via the platform. If you're interested in coaching, we have a website, www.teamlocofit.com. There's a whole intake form. There's everything is there. So I know this is, a lot of people ask that, and I guess some people operate their business off of social media. We are not one of them.
No.
Team LocoFit does not operate.
We have emails.
Yes. We have emails. We have Google Drive. Like, there's lots of things that you can do. And this is not anything against your question. It's just in general, I get this a lot. And I think people...
Or like just like through DMs.
No coaching through DMs. Like, oh my goodness. What are appropriate reasons to compete?
That's gotta be pretty individual. But I would say there are reasons not to compete. That's more of what we should focus on. Like, some people compete for the wrong reasons. They have maybe they have a big following and they think doing fitness is getting on stage. So, you don't want to do it for any of those reasons.
Or they hate their body and they want to change it.
Or if you're trying to lose a bunch of weight and you sign up for a show.
Yeah. Sometimes that can be a good motivator, right? Like, okay, I'm trying to whatever. But if you get in this cycle of, oh, I compete and I look really good and then I gain some weight and then I gotta compete again and then I gain some weight and then I gotta compete again. Yeah. And they get this vicious cycle. That is the number one reason not to compete, because you're unhappy with your body. So why you want to compete is completely up to you. We all have different reasons, and that's not something that somebody should really
have
an opinion on.
You can't really tell someone why they should compete.
Yeah, but you should definitely tell them why they shouldn't.
Yeah, but there are reasons not to.
Yes.
So.
How do you know when you should switch coaches if you must and you feel like you're just a number? So this would refer definitely again back to
the video.
Yeah, back to the first video. But I wouldn't even sign up obviously with that person in the first place if you don't get a good feel for it. But sometimes you do, you don't realize it, and then you're working with them.
Yeah, and then you don't get a response for like 5 days. And then...
Honestly, if you are unhappy with your coaching, you need to tell the coach that. And then one of two things will happen. The coach will say, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that's how you were feeling. I didn't realize that's how I was acting. I will definitely change these things. Or they say, hey, that's not what I said I was going to offer in the beginning. Our expectations aren't the same. Yeah. So I think it'd be better if we parted ways. There's two ways that can happen. Yeah. And sometimes it's just better to leave. And then sometimes the person doesn't even know. Yeah. Or they might not even realize that they're doing something.
Doing what they should be.
So you just have to have, again, communication. This is how, going back to like being a coachable client, have open communication with the person, and then maybe they'll change it, and then maybe you'll have to sever ties.
No, just, look for a good coach or someone who
that works better
with you.
Goals.
So.
All right, what platforms would you recommend for a coach trying to get started out? So I'm not sure if you mean platforms for like coaching or social media. So I'll answer kind of both. How we do all of our coaching check-ins, all those kinds of things is a combination of Google and just like Word. So I've created a template that's like basically a Word document and an Excel sheet, and that can be placed into either Excel, Numbers, or the Google Drive. Yeah. So Google Drive is a great way to keep things all organized. I like operating off of Excel just because I travel a lot, so sometimes I don't have access to Wi-Fi all the time, but I have a program that people can use. They can do it on their phone if they want, which I hate, but some people like doing that. So I've created it basically something that people can use on any platform. And then
talking about social media.
Yeah.
I mean, people, I don't know, what would you say for...
I mean, I think Instagram is the best because basically you can have the actual page, which is more of like the polished photo, and then like the longer caption, like the written out education, and then the stories is kind of like the everyday documentation. Like you can either answer quick stuff or just like, hey, take a look inside my life, what I'm doing, like basically how are you doing all these things that we see on the page.
Yeah, social media is becoming a bigger way to get your business out there. Mm-hmm. So I would say stepping that up would definitely help a lot.
And then if you have had, like, I never had Facebook, deleted it like 3 or 4 times, so I'm just like never had one. But if you have one and you've been using it, you can use that for a great place for like longer form written content. And then obviously YouTube would be more of a platform for, video content. And then if you want to have something that's like, these are just educational videos. Some people do YouTube, obviously, that's like super cinematic. If you want to do that, that's cool.
IGTV is something too.
IGTV.
You can film a video. I haven't done one yet, but
IG Live, Facebook Live.
Just upload it. So.
Yeah, there's all those. And then obviously if you really want to get after it and really be educational, podcasts. Yeah. So I would say if you're just starting out, I wouldn't really worry about that. I would just kind of I would pick a few things.
Yeah.
And then the same person also asked this other question, so I was going to kind of loop it together. What is the best way to start an email newsletter? Honestly, we just started it. We created it on MailChimp. I basically, between the 4 of us, myself, Jillian, Karina, and Ryan, we create content, written content, and then Karina formats it, puts it on MailChimp, and then off we go.
Magic.
So it just happened. So pretty much what I would say is, I'll just give you guys an example of kind of what I've been trying to focus on. Once a week newsletter, once a week YouTube videos, so those are education on platforms, podcasts when I can, and then I'm active on stories every day on Instagram, and then I try and post most days. I probably post about 5 days a week on the page, just educational kind of stuff.
Yeah, same. Mostly Instagram and Instagram stories,
mm-hmm.
And then the newsletter.
Yeah.
So.
And then, the occasional YouTube video. So, I would just say, I'm not sure if that was what you're asking, but that kind of answers every possible way. And then here's another last one. I think this is a really great one. How long do you allow for a client to stick to something before changing their diet and the cardio? And somebody else messaged me separately and asked kind of also like, how do you know when you should change this for like a mini cut, or should you drop it down here and then reverse, or what should, like, so there's no way that we could possibly answer this question effectively.
Kind of like you kind of just know when you get to that point. I think it depends on what the client's goal is, how long they've been at that place. You know, so much that you have to think about before you even think about changing anything.
Lifestyle factors. Are they moving? Are they sleeping? Are they stressing? How's work? Do they have extra free time? There literally is 100 factors. And the level that some people are going to have to make changes is going to be different than others. Like sometimes you can make a change and it'll ride out for 4, 5, 6 weeks. Sometimes you're changing things every week. That's literally like there's no real answer to it, and I know that sucks. But you basically just have to take into consideration the person's goal. Is there a specific date? Because if there's a date, that's also different.
Yeah.
Like if you're dieting
for a show, you know,
or even an event.
Yeah,
like,
or
you're ready.
You know, so if you have like a timeline, obviously, like you're gonna have to change things every week if nothing's moving.
Yeah. Other times, if it's just hey, I have this goal. I want to lose 7-10 pounds. Okay, let's do this in whatever fashion
you
need
have
to get
more
there.
leeway. You know, you have a little bit more time to play around with things. So.
And then coaching. A lot of coaches say this, but it's true. Coaching is an art form. I know this is super annoying to hear as well because, like, what does that even mean? But sometimes as you become a better coach over time, you almost intuitively feel things. Like, sometimes I'll make changes and then they'll drop and I'm like, yeah, but we need to drop again. Like, we're not going to continue. And then other times people haven't made changes, like, in weight or measurements. Well, measurements. Like, what was that? Measurements. But I'm like, I know we're going to drop soon. So just shoot me a message in 3 days and, like, let's see where this is. And
I've had that experience with you. You know, like, you're gonna hit a big drop soon. Like, I can feel it.
Yeah.
So.
And then, like, we do. And then sometimes I'm wrong, but then sometimes I'm right. It's like almost weird, but it's just like this intuitive feeling that you pick up on different things and there's not like one reason why. It's a collection of things. And you get better at this the longer that you coach, ultimately. So thank you guys so much for sending in these questions. I really, really liked this.
We had a lot of good questions.
I know, we had some more, but I wanted to kind of hit the ones that were the top questions and the ones that were asked a lot. So probably do one of these again. I feel like these are really good, or even just answer them on story.
Any kind of more questions.
Any more Q&A stuff. So we love to hear topics. If you have any other questions that you guys want us to answer, let us know in the comments below, and I'll answer them, or we'll use them as other video topics. So thank you so much for listening to the series. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
And bye.
Bye.